If you love what you do you need time off? If you really loved your fucking job, do you need to, why doesn't fucking Elon Musk take fucking time off? He works every day. Do you think Elon took a fucking day off in the last decade? Even if he went on vacation, he was still fucking dealing with, texts or emails or phone calls. He was still thinking about his business life. He works every day. Steve Jobs, I never met Steve Jobs, but I know a man quite well that worked with him for the last 5.5 years of his life, was with him 6 days a week for the last 5.5 years of his life. He says, Steve never wanted a day off. Steve just works. But you know what? He's pretty passionate about what he was up to. You can't say that's not true. Very passionate about it, very on his mission, very much doing his thing, So I want to be around those people. If you love what you do, you don't need a day off. You just go, that's what you do. That's what you do. You'll be like the fitness guys here. It's like, you don't need to fucking use your muscle, your willpower to go to the gym. It's like, go to the gym. Of course I go to the gym. Get shit done. Wake up, get shit done. Wake up, get shit done. Find the right fucking people in your life. Don't convince somebody to do something they're not. Don't convince somebody to be something they're not. Don't try to manipulate yourself to pretend that you want some bullshit life that you clearly don't want. You know who the fuck you are by your fucking age. Is like, there's some things about your personality that are quite firm that you're just not going to change that shit. So don't even pretend that you're going to. I'm 40, and my current behavioral patterns has been working out fucking great. It's been working out great. I'm not changing shit. Like, what does this love thing mean? Like, it's not a Disney movie, bro. It's not a Disney movie. It's like, if you want people to love you, is like, make yourself useful to them. That's what everybody responds to. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, like, that just seems to be empirically how the world works. Like, the more that I can make it's a goal of mine that every day I go to sleep a little, I banish a bit of my ignorance every day. And I could go to sleep a bit better educated and a bit more useful that I could help. I could help my girlfriend. I can help my business partners. I can help my clients. I can help myself. That I make myself more useful and more productive. And, and the more that I've adhered to that model, the more people fucking like me. You want to be liked in the world? Make yourself useful. The more I adhere to that model, regardless of my short-term emotions, like, all right, what's the big picture? What's the long-term outcome? All right, well, let me help my friends, help my fucking business partners, girlfriends, male friends, clients, etc. The more I can make myself useful to others, the more they were happy to contribute to me. And there's your fucking secret to life, bro. There's your fucking secret to life. Make yourself useful to the type of people that you want to be around. And you'll be well embraced. You'll be warmly embraced by those people. Whatever type of people you want to be around, make yourself very useful to them. They'll love you for it. Don't worry about the other people. They're not your people. The other people aren't your people. I don't have an opinion about it. I don't wish them any harm, but I couldn't give a shit less about them on the other hand. I wouldn't spend a penny to save their lives. And I mean that literally. I wouldn't spend a penny to save their life. Wish them well, but they're going to have to figure it out for themselves. It's not my people. Let's think about this in a business context, guys. All right, I'm a Jew. So when I see I'm not a religious person, okay? But my ancestors, I'm half a Jew and quarter American Indian and some other shit. But when I see a coin on the ground, I still pick it up. I really do. And I'm extraordinarily excited. Like, I couldn't tell you how excited. My assistants could tell you, because look at them. They're like, yeah. If I could find a coin on the ground, and like, I think there's some. My boy Shekels over here. He and I have a little bond about this. That, like, I can tell. I know the difference between, like, American coins dropping versus like a British coin or a euro. I spend enough time in them that they have a certain ring to them, that I have a sense of the denomination when I hear it happen. But as a good Jew, not only do I want money from interest. I do like interest. I like I think our people invented interest. I'm pretty sure. As a good Jew, I like collecting interest. I like getting distributions and dividends from shit that I own. I really like that. I like having passive income from real estate. I think that's great. I want money everywhere. I like as much money from as many places as possible. Like, would you guys like as much money from as many places as possible? Yes. That seems quite reasonable. He's like back in the Arsenio Hall days. He's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't care about some bum, but you know who I want to help is a guy that wants to help himself. Is a guy that has some of that same problems, man, and like, he's tired of that shit. You know who has the hardest time fucking being successful is some poor bastard that's born middle class. He was raised middle class, and everything was real good. He wasn't awful. on a selfless note, like for somebody like me or Jeffy that had really fucked childhood, like it could only go one way. You were going to make it better or you were going to die or something, you know? You were going to make it better or you were going to die there. You know, but a guy that grew up like pretty middle class is that poor bastard, you know, he's just like, well, everything's good. He doesn't have the same sense of urgency. He doesn't have the same sense of, he doesn't know what a fucking bad day feels like. You don't know what it's like when your friend got shot in the face and he's in the ER and then he dies an hour later. You don't know what it's like when your other best friend OD'd. You know, he didn't have those type of experiences. You don't know what it's like when you have to pull a steak knife out of your own shoulder. So you didn't have those same experiences. Or you've been shot at and you're like, oh, like literally a bullet's like, inches from your head over here and you almost died. If you were sitting a little different in a chair, you would have died that moment instead. So that guy didn't have that experience and he don't have the same fucking, oomph or motivation sometimes, the same urgency to go do something. And those guys have a real tough time. If you were born into a very good family or so-called good family, if you were born into a family where you were expected to go do well, you were going to work hard. Before you were born, your parents knew you were going to college and also grad school. Your parents knew you were going to study. The Asian culture is this way. Many Asians are this way. Why is it? Go fact check these numbers for yourself. Why is it that the average household income in this country is about $59,000, $60,000? The Asians make over $80,000 on average. The Indians, $119,000. Why is that they're making twice the fucking money? Who's Indian? There's some Indian in here. Yeah. What's that culture like?
Higher standards.
It's challenging.
Well, you're going to die a virgin maybe unless you get your arranged marriage. That might be bad. But God damn it, you're going to do math. You're going to go do something. You're going to go do something. It's expected that you're going to go do something. Probably going to be a computer scientist, some engineer, but you're going to go do something.
Very, very hard.
Yeah. No, it's a lifestyle choice. That's not,
Build more urgency.
You're going to die, motherfucker. Like, you're going to die. Like, you get that? You're going to die. You're going to die. So don't do your urgency. Fuck you then. If you don't care, fuck you then. What do you want to do between now and then? You don't want to do nothing? You say, I'll just wait around and fucking, anything that happens, it'll be okay. Fuck you. You don't deserve to have a better outcome then. If that's how you're thinking, you don't deserve a better outcome. Why the fuck do you think the world's going to reward a bunch of undeserved people? The riches of the universe and the best women in the world are going to go fuck with some dude who's like, oh, there's no, it's not important. I'll just do some shit later. It's stupid and grotesque. It's stupid and grotesque. It's like, get a fucking plan. Go do something. Bill Gates talks about this. Like, the world will expect you to do something before you have self-esteem. You don't deserve self-esteem because you were born. You don't deserve to feel good about yourself because you're here cluttering up the fucking place with 8 billion other fools. You gotta do something. What do we talk about here? It's like, make yourself useful. You want people to like you? Make yourself useful. Everybody wants to be your friend. I promised a guy over here. What's up?
Hey there. So, quick questions here. I've been watching some of the videos lately, and you're talking about before you go to sleep, you'll identify the top 3 opportunities to gather the resources, right? So, wondering what other rituals or routines that you do.
You're not even doing that one yet. Tell me that you've done that religiously the last 30 days.
Not every single
Then do it. Derek, what's step number 4? You didn't even do that. You didn't even do that. Let me explain to the audience what we're fucking talking about. It's like, guys, since I was early 20s, I don't know, 22, 23, no older than 23. I don't remember if I was 22 or 23. Every day, and I mean every day. It's the most important time of my whole day. Most important thing I do every day. But when I go fucking sleep, I think to myself, 10 minutes, it takes 10 minutes. It's like, what are the 3 most important things I need to do tomorrow? Every day, 3 most important things I need to do. One is always finance. One is always relationships. The third one is whatever's top of mind today. Whatever seems urgent or important today, whatever the fuck it is. That one's random. All right? What can I do? What I mean by that is what's the biggest or most important financial opportunity that I have tomorrow over the long term? I don't care about short-term shit. My short term is everything's great. I'm going to run out of fucking life before I run out of money. But I still want more, by the way. Now, what's the most important opportunity for my long-term financial outcome? All right? Number 2 question, what's the most important opportunity that I could contribute to an important friend or a relationship of some kind? What can I do to help an important friend tomorrow? What can I do to help somebody do something significant? All right? And the third one is whatever the fuck else the thing is, you know? And I answer those questions, and you got to trick your brain because you'll get used to answering the same shit. So you got to trick your brain, and you got to ask yourself, well, if something was more important, what might it be? You know, what might I be missing? And you have to ask yourself questions to think a little fucking deeper, you know? And if you do that, how many of you, all of you know this, is like, you know, I don't know the fucking neuroscience behind it, but all of you know this is true, is like, how many times have you gone to sleep thinking about something, and then you wake up the next day and it kind of solved itself? The right idea came to mind overnight, and it kind of solved itself, yeah? Everybody had that experience. Or you haven't been thinking very much, one or the other. Probably everybody here had that experience. Then I wake up in the morning, and the first thing I do in the morning is I reflect back on those 5 minutes, 8 minutes, religiously. I don't get up and take a piss. The most important thing I need to do first thing every morning is spend 5 or 8 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes thinking about that. It's like, are those still the most important things? Is something better come to mind? Is there a better opportunity? Is there a better something come to mind that I should go do that instead and change my course of action? Is that a rationalization, or is it true? If something was better, what might it be? What am I too stupid to be thinking about right now that if I thought a little differently, I could see a better option? And you got to trick your brain and ask yourself 3 or 4 or 5 different ways, and not in flattering ways. You have to fucking ask yourself, what am I too dumb to, what am I too dumb to not know I don't know, or something of that nature. And if you just did that, you're really on course to have a much better life. And you wake up with some purpose. You wake up with some purpose. And you wake up with some purpose. I'm not picking on you, by the way. I'm just saying it helps answer the question that you guys have on your mind. You wake up with some goddamn purpose and some direction, and you're like, oh, I'm doing this right now. Why is that important? Because of this goal. And you know what you're doing, you know why you're doing it, and that gives you all the information you need that when something comes up during your day, all those little things that happen day to day that interrupt you from the important shit you're supposed to be doing, you're like, is this helping me accomplish that goal? No, it's not. Okay, then I don't have time for that. Is this person trying to help me accomplish that goal? Is this person that's sufficiently contributed to me in the past that I need to take a time out and maybe this became the most important thing if it's somebody that's been contributing in a high level to you? And if not, take a night to sleep about it. Ask yourself those questions at night and in the morning. If you did that for 30 days, you'd do it for the rest of your life. Anybody in here that did that for 30 days, it would be so valuable to you that you would never stop doing that. You would do that for the rest of your life. In 30 days' time, you would see tangible things happening in your life. This is no mysticism or woo-woo. It just gives you the fucking guidance and clarity, like how to spend your fucking day. And then you would go do that, and you would see fucking benefits from that accruing. On day 1, you would intellectually understand, and on day 7, you'd be like, oh, this and this and this happened that weren't going to get done if I didn't behave that way. If you did that for 30 days, you would do it for the rest of your life. I'm astonished more people don't do that. It's one of the, there's 6 things I'm going to say today. It's one of the most valuable things I said today, but that's really one of them. If you did that for a month, you do it forever, because it'd be that useful to you. Last year, I spent about $40,000 on various groups or organizations or whatnot. I found another great one. So this year, I got about $60,000 earmarked for that. I want to spend $100,000. I got it in my goal. Every time I spent money on those type of organizations, I got such a great return on it that you get access to people you could never see in the real world. You would never meet the people there. I literally come here to talk to you guys to network the same way. I want to find the right people. I want to avoid the wrong people. This is a great self-selected group of people that, as a whole, are rather well educated, whether that's university education or something else, but they tend to be accomplished at something. Let's poll the audience. How many of you feel rather proud of yourself about something you've accomplished in your life so far? Look around the room. Keep your hands up. Look around the room, guys. All right. Now, if you ask that question, raise your fucking hand the whole way, Shekels. What are you doing to me? All right. Now, if you said that out on the street, if we said that, if we just went outside. If we just went outside and asked that same question, like a lot of people wouldn't be able to answer that way. They really wouldn't. And you wouldn't have to ask the question, you just have to glance at them and you would understand. So, you got to find those groups of selective, it should be uncomfortable for the wrong people to be in some of those groups. It'd be obvious that they're not welcome there or they don't belong. What are the attributes you want in a business partner? Yeah, it's a real question. What are some attributes you would like in a business partner?
Intelligence, integrity, self-motivation, reliability,
Trust, loyalty.
That's a key.
I didn't hear anything about anybody's feelings. trust, loyalty, executor, reliability. What were some of the other ones? Integrity. Intelligence. Resourcefulness. Can I add resourcefulness? You'll accept resourcefulness?
Ambition. Creative.
If you want to hang out with those type of guys, just be one of those guys. You'll be well accepted. Everybody here would love to have another friend who's resourceful, intelligent, has high level of integrity, is reliable. Everybody here would. How many of you would like to have a great friend like that? Have a new friend that way? Everybody. She would too. Just be that guy. Be that guy. You want to be around those type of guys? Be one of those guys. I was with Brandon Carter. Brandon's a very good friend of mine. He's going to open for me in a couple days on Monday. This is a bonus talk. I have a nice, well-structured talk to share with other people. I have a lot of great shit in it, but this is just casual and casual. Brandon and I were together, and he had a friend. He got a phone call while I was with him. You guys know who Brandon Carter is? So Brandon and I were together, and he got a phone call, and it's that his childhood friend died from Chicago. I grew up in Chicago area, and he grew up in Chicago. And he got a phone call that his friend died. And he said, man, I fucking told him he got to move. And he felt sad about it, He's like, man, I fucking told him to move. And he stayed in that neighborhood where they grew up together. And he's dead now. He's murdered. Not even something he did, probably. Probably not even something he did wrong. Just wrong place, wrong time, man. And I don't know. I had enough of that. I want to be away from it. I want to be far away from it. And shamelessly say so. It's a self-selection. It's a self-selection, I say that about assistants. 1,000 people want to be my assistant every year. And it's at least 20 a week. Sometimes it's 50 a week. And I'm just like, no. Usually, I can't even respond to it. I get over 1,000 emails a week. I can't even respond to it. I set up an auto thing. If you guys email me, it's just going to give you an auto responder that tells you, I barely check my email ever, and it's almost a 0% chance I'm going to write you back. And if you're serious about talking to me, go to my website and schedule time with me. And if you're not serious, don't worry about it. Just go back to your life. If you weren't serious, don't worry about it. But it's 2 or 3 people a year that come do that. It's 2 or 3 people. Everybody wants to do that. 2 or 3 people. But it's not a hard path. I would say it's not a hard path. It's a self-selected path. There's some people that would just be very clear to them, if I wanted to do this and this and this, I'd probably be a very top candidate. I'd be one of the top 5 or 10 people that you'd be considering this year to go play that role, together the next year. And it's obvious and easy how to do that, but people ask. You hear some of the questions in here that and I'm not even blaming you. I understand why you have some of these questions, but you're just thinking so differently than how you need to be thinking. Man, just change a couple thoughts. If you need it to work, it can't work. If you're trying to make it work with an individual girl, it can't work. If you're not motivated, it's not even a man to me. So I'm motivated. Well, then be disciplined then. If you're not motivated, then be disciplined. Your self-discipline is not something that you can do at a time that's convenient for you. Self-discipline is a muscle. You guys get that, yeah? Self-discipline is a muscle, like going to the gym or other tough things that you deal with, It's like you don't get to build your self-discipline muscle at a time that's convenient for you. By definition, you can only build your self-discipline when you're doing something that you don't feel like doing right now. When you know that you're supposed to do something and you don't feel like it, but you're going to go do it anyway because you know it's the right thing. It's the only time that you get to build your self-discipline muscle. And when you go do that, you know what your reward for that is? You're now qualified to go deal with tougher things. Your reward is not fucking a utopic life on a beach or some bullshit. Your reward is, I'm now qualified to deal with tougher challenges. I'm now qualified to deal with higher level burdens that most mere mortals, that most men they wouldn't be up to that challenge. And we all respect those people. That's why we watch, I don't watch sports much, but I have some friends that are professional athletes. But when I do watch that stuff, it's I have such respect, not for this team or that team, but for the athleticism and the discipline and the overcoming that has, man, that's amazing, That's why you respect those type of people. That's why we all respect people that overcame something and accomplished something, A lot of your own self-respect has to do with that, is that, that it could have been otherwise. And you did some gangster tough shit to go make it better. And when you reflect back on it, not in a cocky way, but in a very humble and sincere way, you're like, yeah, man, I really did some shit. Could have been a lot worse off than I am. Really glad I did that shit. And you feel proud. And the world don't need to know about it. You just know about it. It wouldn't matter if nobody else on fucking earth knew about it. You're just like, yeah, I dealt with a couple tough things that other people in my circumstance wouldn't have done as well with. That's what you feel proud of. You should. That's what a man should feel proud of. Fuck this pussy shit.